legalities required when it comes to running a business. So I come from a legal background. I studied law in uni, and so when it comes to anything like contracts or insurance, all these kind of things, I take it so seriously. And I kind of was under the assumption that a lot of people were already aware of the legalities and the legal requirements when it comes to running a business, protecting them, protecting their businesses, protecting their employees, their assets, etc. But when the whole coronavirus pandemic happened, it highlighted that actually a lot of businesses were exposed and were not protected legally. So that's why I wanted to really talk about the legalities today. So the first thing that I actually want to talk about is just registering your business, actually having your business registered. And obviously the laws are different for different countries, but you can register your business in any country. Just the process that it takes to registering your business in that country could differ. But having your business entity registered is such an important thing. Having your business recognized by the law is so key. And there are different ways you can register your business. So you can register as a sole trader, and registering as a sole trader means that you are essentially the business, and that means that you and the business are counted as one. So that also means when it comes to your finances, you can take money out of the business, pay yourself from the business. It doesn't really have any tax implications because you are essentially the business. And that also does mean though that you are also responsible if the business does go into debt. The second type of registration you can do is actually registering your business as a private limited company, which means that your business and you are separate entities, and so the finances are done differently. The business is registered, you would have a separate business account, for example, and you would have shareholders in the business, which you can allocate once you register the business. So if it's just you for now, you can give yourself 100% shares in the business. And then obviously as things go along, you can make changes in terms of you being the director of the business or having somebody else registered as the director of the business, or if it's a family-owned business or you want maybe your kids to have shares in the business or your kids to be directors in the business, you can do that as well as a private limited company. Another way you can register your business is under partnerships. So if more than one person own the business, you can register it under partnerships, and it means that you guys are both financially responsible for the business debts. You can also, if you do have a business partnership, because I do have a business where I have a partner and we registered it as a limited company, but we just both have 50% shares in the business. So there's different ways to go around it. And if you are in the UK, definitely check out gov.uk for more information. And wherever else you are in the world, just check the government websites, and I'm sure it will give you the different options to register your business. But honestly guys, register your business. Now some people say, oh, I don't want to register my business because I don't want to pay tax. But if you are a business and you are running and functioning as a business, you need to have your business registered. You need to have your business recognized by law. If anything happens, your business is protected. You are protected. The next thing I would say is having a business bank account. This might not apply if you're a sole trader, but it really does depend on how you want to manage your finances. But if you do have a limited company, you definitely have to have a business account where you can manage your incoming and your outgoings. We'll definitely talk a lot more about finances in a different episode, but having a business account helps you when it comes to your taxes. So when you're doing like your tax returns at the end of the year, it's not mixing with your personal finances, and you can actually pay yourself out of that business bank account. You can pay your employees out of that business bank account. But actually having that business account, having a card that you can use to pay for business expenses as well, it just helps to make your finances clear cut. And also you do have certain things that are certain advantages or certain perks when you do have a business account as opposed to just having your personal account. The next thing I want to talk about is trademarks. And trademarks, copywriting, patents, etc. Now, when it comes to, for example, your name or your logo or your colors or, whatever it is that you identify, whatever it is that people identify your brand with, so it could be your slogan, you can definitely trademark them. So that means that no one else can have that or use that because it's yours. Again, same with intellectual property. As a business, this is your intellectual property. These are the things that you have come up with for your business, and you don't want people to just steal that or just use it anyhow. So you can also apply for a patent for that, and that means that you're protected, and it means that legally that belongs to you. So if anyone does take that, you can take them to court, you can charge them, they can be fined for that. Same with copyrights. If you are a writer, for example, copyright your work so that you are protected, so that your work is protected. The internet, is so open right now, and people can just take things from the internet and use them as their own. If this is your hard work that you have put so much time and effort and energy into, protect your work. So if you are someone who's invented something, for example, or you're providing some sort of a solution that has not been seen before, protect that using a patent. I remember reading up recently about someone who's kind of reinvented something and made it so unique, and it's selling out in the market, and now people have taken that person's work, taken their formulas, so to speak, and basically created their own version of it, and they're selling it in the market. And it's not fair for that person who's put in so much work to create that, so much work to reinvent that thing, so much work to produce this product, for example, and then other people are just literally copying and pasting it. Honestly protect your work. Now on to the next thing, contracts. I love everything contract related, honestly. I write contracts for everything. Maybe I'm a bit over the top, but honestly guys, contracts are so important. And basically a contract is just a written down document that kind of highlights the scope of the work that you're going to be doing, so that there is no misunderstanding, there's clarity. It protects both you and the other party that's signing it. It's legally enforceable, so when it does come to putting down contracts, definitely let solicitors check it so that it is legally enforceable. Contracts also provide security for you, for your clients, for your business. Just to avoid any form of misunderstanding or miscommunication, everything is there in writing so that people know what they're getting themselves into before they sign that contract. And so that along the way there's no misunderstanding where people are like, oh, I didn't know, or it's there in black and white in writing. And so it's very important to also read contracts before you sign it. In the contract, you should highlight the scope of the work that you're going to be providing, or the service or the product. Also, you can include your payment terms in the contract as well. And you can have contracts for your clients, you can have contracts for your employees, you can have contracts for your suppliers as well, so that everybody is on the same page when it comes to delivering a service or a product. And it also means that people can be held accountable. There's certain things that should be included in your contract. So obviously like the date, your name, the name of your business, the services that you're providing. It's important to also have somewhere in the contract where people can actually write how to cancel and terminate the contract, if there's going to be any repercussions for it, if there's going to be any payment that will be required if anyone was to end the contract. If you're someone that maybe sells goods online, for example, including how long it will take to deliver the products or the goods, or if you are someone who is a contractor, for example, in your contract stipulating how long it will take to deliver that service. So say for example you create websites, or you are a consultant, so when you come on board into the company, how long it will take for you to deliver your service from start to finish. So all these type of things need to be in that contract. When it comes to putting together a contract for employees, now you have different types of employees. So you can have someone who is a contractor, someone who is maybe an agency worker, or someone who is an actual employed staff member. Definitely have details of the job, the terms and conditions of the job, what is required of them. So if it's a quite sensitive role, for example, the fact that they need to be confidential with documents, for example, their working hours, their pay, in terms of how the contract can be terminated, if there is any breach of contract, if maybe they don't pass their probation, have all these things in the contract as well. And just following on from that, insurance is another big thing when it comes to any business. You should definitely have insurance. So we've just spoken about contracts for employees. Definitely have insurance for your employees. It's important to have employee liability insurance. And that just protects your employees in case anything happens to them, in case anything happens in your organization, you are protected and so are your employees. So say an employee gets injured at work, gets seriously sick, employee liability insurance would cover the compensation for that, so it doesn't come out of your pocket or the company's pocket. It also means that you are providing a safe working environment for your employees so that they feel at ease coming to work, they feel at ease doing the work, because they know that they're protected and they're safe. And then you have public liability insurance, which actually protects the company from any third-party claims. So it covers the cost of compensation from any third party who may be injured or affected by your business activities or by, coming in contact with your company or your business. It can also protect you as the business owner from everyday risks, for example, or mistakes. It just means that you are covered should anything happen. So if there is negligence, if there's any mistake, we are human. So if anything was to happen to anyone who comes in contact with your business, we know that they're protected. It goes for everything. So you might even think, well, I don't have an office space, for example. If you are someone who maybe is a decorator, for example, for a wedding, having public liability insurance means that if maybe a vase was to break and it was to cut somebody, it doesn't come back to you because it's a mistake, it happened by accident. And that person wanted to claim compensation, then your insurance will cover that. But if you are someone who does have an office space or a building or what have you, definitely get insurance to cover that as well, so that the cost for any damages, any theft, anything that is lost or stolen, you have your IT equipment, for example, covered. You have your furniture covered. If there is a fire, for example, if there's a flood, whatever it is, you are covered. Honestly, guys, I cannot highlight the importance of insurance for everything. And I do think that COVID-19 has highlighted the need for every business to have some form of insurance. And the last thing on my list is licenses. So when we talk about permits, when we talk about having cover. So for example, if you are someone who owns a restaurant, you definitely need certain permits and licenses. But actually, if you are also someone who makes food, so you might be a caterer, but you might just deliver food, you still need certain licenses and permits. You need certain health and safety documentation, just to make sure that you're doing things the right way, and if anything was to happen, then you're covered. If you are someone who creates products, you definitely need certain permits and licenses for that. So for example, if you maybe create skincare products or you create electronic products, you need certain permits and licenses for that as well. So find out the required licenses and permits that you need before you start your business or creating that product. If you've already started your business and you've already maybe created the product, definitely it's not too late to have a check, just to make sure that you have done the right things, you have followed the right procedures, so that you are covered if anything was to happen. Because say for example, you're creating maybe, I don't know, a skincare product, and maybe someone has huge reactions to it, that you have covered the right things, you have done the right things, you have the right permits, you're using chemicals, for example, so it doesn't come back to haunt you because you didn't do the right thing. You can actually go to jail for things like that. So definitely make sure you have the right permits. You don't want to get closed down, you don't want to get locked off because you have overlooked certain legal requirements. So guys, that's it from me. I've kind of just highlighted, I've done a rough overview on some of the key legalities, but these are legal requirements that we all need to have, and make sure we constantly check, because some things expire after a certain period. So make sure you're on top of this. If you're not someone who's very admin savvy, or you're not someone who really likes all these type of documentations and stuff like that, hire someone to do this. Get a contractor to deal with this. Speak to a solicitor. Get someone who's constantly checking this. Set reminders on your phone for when it's going to expire, so that you can renew your licenses or renew your insurance. Thankfully, a lot of companies these days, they're quite hands-on in that they would send you a reminder maybe a month before your insurance, for example, expires, so that you can renew it. But guys, we have to stay on top of these things. We have to be responsible. And I hope this has been quite helpful for you. I'm not saying these things to scare you. I'm just saying these things so that you are aware and that you are checking, to protect you, to protect your clients, to protect your staff, and to protect your business ultimately. Thank you for watching. Hope this has been helpful.